This episode of the Grappler Union podcast is brought to you by BJJTees. Go to bjjtees.com, enter the promo code Grappler Union, and save 10% off all your jiu-jitsu apparel. Go to bjjtees.com today.
This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Strychnine Jiu-Jitsu, makers of vintage-inspired tees, hoodies, and rash guards. Go to strychnine.co, that's STRYCH, the number 9.co, and use the promo code UNION at checkout to receive 20% off your online order.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Grappler Union Podcast. Paul Maloney alongside Anthony Zito. On this episode, we have Dr. Joseph Alleva in studio. Doc Joe is a first-degree black belt under Mark Vives. He's board certified in physical medicine, and he's been the ringside physician for UFC, WEC, Strikeforce, and XFO. Enjoy.
It ain't the 6 minutes. It's what happens in that 6 minutes.
You told me using any technique that works, never to limit myself to one style. Keep an open mind.
We're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
In order to become more peaceful, in order for you to become better and strategize your life.
Doctor? Okay, we are live.
Doc Joe, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I think
nice.
You guys have been ducking me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know who hit us up, right?
Yeah, it was Patty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Patty's like, what are you guys doing? Can you please have this guy on?
Right.
We're like, yeah, absolutely. What are
sure.
you talking about?
Yeah, I asked Jeff Serafin. I said, Jeff, get me on. And then Mark Vives, get me on. And then Patty had the ultimate strength to do it.
Patty gets things done, man.
She does. She gets shit done.
Yeah. First doctor we've had on the podcast, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could
What's
say.
the oldest person you had on this show? I guess is even a better question.
Barry Phillips, I think, is
Barry.
like 67.
Okay.
And also one of our most downloaded episodes.
Yeah, Barry Phillips.
So you can tell how many listeners you get for this.
Yeah, absolutely. It tells us what geographic areas they're downloading from. We're all over the map. It's kind of interesting. Like when I look at the geographics from everything, and I see like regions that I would never think. Like one of the weird ones is like Hungary. It's like, what? Hungary? That's a weird place. It's like never think of that.
You're going to get weird demographics and geographics for this one.
Yeah, is it really? So, but there wasn't a strong presence of Ireland, but recently we had a few from Ireland.
Really?
Yeah. So
we're blowing up in Ireland now.
maybe your family is starting to like listen. Like, oh, it's been over a year. I think we could give it a listen now.
I was going to do my Irish brogue, but you don't want that.
Oh, come on, let's hear it.
Oh man. So what's going on? Tell us all about sports injuries. I'm like,
Well, first of all, tell
Really
us,
interested.
what kind of doctor are you?
Yeah, so my training was in a field that is not very well known, but it's called physical medicine and rehabilitation. And essentially, it's two parts. We deal with musculoskeletal problems like sports injuries and spine injuries, and that's what I do. And then the other aspect of it is dealing with people with disabilities, so spinal cord injuries, head injuries, strokes, so on and so forth. And so there's the number one hospital is here. It's now called the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, but it was called the Rehab Institute of Chicago. It's part of Northwestern. That's where I was. But it's number one in U.S. News and World and Report rehab hospital year after year. So it's a very prominent place. I loved it there. It was good training.
Yeah.
and you started when?
So I have been in Chicago, oh my God, for a really long time. I'm in practice 23 years, but I did my residency at Northwestern, and I went to med school up at Chicago Medical School up north. So I've been here for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you were from New York, right?
I'm from New York.
Yeah, you're from
yeah.
New York.
Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn, moved to Staten Island, and then I went to undergrad in Long Island.
So who has better pizza, New York or Chicago?
Oh man, I knew that was coming.
I've never been to New York, and I always hear like, oh, you gotta try the New York pizza, and I'm like, I gotta try it, but I'm afraid because what if I like it better than Chicago? Now
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
You'll be outcast for sure.
I will not only that, but then I'm be wanting to go to New York just to get their pizza.
Well, I'll say this: I'm Italian, so I like the sauce in New York.
Okay.
But I love deep dish,
Okay.
particularly Lou's.
Okay.
Lou Mel's?
Yeah.
Oh, Doc, come on.
Is
You're
that
killing me
That's
here.
bad?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not, I'm not a fan.
Lou's guy.
I'm not a fan
Really?
of Lou. I don't
So
know.
what do you recommend then?
I mean,
Giordano's.
I like Pequods.
I don't even know what
Deep
Pequods
dish.
is. Is that bad?
Oh, it's delicious. Pequods? Gotta have it, Doc.
Is it up north?
It's they have one in Chicago.
Uh-huh.
They have one it's I guess it's like near Ashland and what's that? Where's that Green Dolphin at? Webster?
Oh, Clybourne?
Oh, okay, I know where that is.
Clybourne and Western.
Okay.
Webster. So
Is that a strip club that you just referenced?
it's not a strip club. It used to be a club when I was younger.
Yeah, a strip club, I'm
Was
pretty
it
sure.
really?
I think so.
No. Whatever. And Pequod, and then around here.
I'm so happy this isn't videoed because my face is pretty red right now, isn't it?
so then there's Freddy's Pizza, which is one of my personal favorites. Now it's not a deep dish, but it's a thicker crust, but
Okay.
it's light and airy. You like a Freddy's?
Freddy's is good.
Yeah, Freddy's is good. So those two are really good.
I'm taking us way off the reservation.
No,
but
that's fine.
did you guys ever have Detroit style pizza? Did you ever even hear of it?
No, I've never heard of
There's
it.
a small boutique-ish place.
Okay.
I think it's called Union Squared in Evanston. And they serve Detroit style pizza. You have to try it.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of
Does it
thick.
have buckshot on it? It's like some automotive rust.
It's kind of like a Sicilian pizza. You ever had a Sicilian?
I
The
have.
square
Yeah,
and
square.
kind of doughy and
Right,
thick.
right.
It's like that, but a little different.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's in Evanston?
Yeah.
The dough's made with water that has lead in it.
Interesting. What's the place called again?
Union Squared.
Union
Boy,
Square.
they owe me for that.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
It's a hell of a plug. On this podcast.
But New York pizza, I always thought it was just like the shape it came in. Like, okay, our slices are thinner and they're like a quarter of a pie,
Right.
and you fold it over,
Right.
and like it's a New York slice, It's
Yeah, I that's all I've always seen it eaten. But the sauce is unique. Is it like a cooked sauce?
No, I think it's
or-
just it's more. It's a marinara sauce like
Okay.
the other ones, but I feel like it's more authentic. Yeah, and I like it. But you're right. It's big, triangular, and
Yeah,
floppy.
right.
That's
And now,
the key.
Where in New York, like, is it all over? Is it just the same pizza, or is it where's the best New York pizza? Like, what is?
I mean, they
'cause
always-
it's so big. New York is so
Exactly.
huge. Where are you gonna
Exactly.
go?
Yeah.
You know, I'm because if I Google like best pizza in New York, it's like, come on.
Exactly.
Where are you
It's
gonna-
always going to say Ray's.
Right.
Ray's is a popular
Oh, is
one
that right?
in Manhattan.
Okay.
But I mean, you can't. I grew up in Staten Island, which there's a lot of Italians there, and so there's a pizzeria everywhere you turn your
gotta try
head.
it out.
Yeah, it's good.
Sounds like a trip, Paul. The IBJJF going to New York. We should go to that one.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. That'd be
NYC
good.
open.
Yeah, I'll do that one. Hell yeah.
Hit up a couple of pizzerias.
Yeah.
No, my problem with Lou's is there's a couple of problems with Lou's. Okay, the butter on the crust doesn't make up for the rest of the pizza. So just everyone's like, yeah, but the crust with the butter, it's like, stop it, and then it crumbles.
It does.
Lou's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like a
Flake.
a flaky,
Right.
But the sauce is so chunky. It's very
Yeah.
engaging.
Yeah.
Very, very chunky. But I
My
feel
feeling
it's a little
like
bland.
if you were like in a rush, if I was in like a rush where it's like, Paul, you got to make a pizza in under 20 seconds. Like, I feel like that's what loses. You know what I mean? Because there's
I think
just
that's
like a
the-
hunk of cheese over here,
Right.
and there's like nothing there, and then there's like a full tomato over here.
It's like a meal.
yeah, that's
But
how
it's like
that's how they do it.
It's not consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
But
like
that's how they do
having
it.
it's like having a smoothie with chunks in it. You don't want that.
You don't want that. I do give it. I mean, design wise, Lou's does really well. Like marketing, their design of the restaurants, all that. I'm on board with. I really enjoy like the aesthetics of the place. Yeah, I just can't get on board with that pizza. And I've tried it year after year because I forget how it was. I'm like, oh, maybe I was just being a little too harsh. So I'll try it again, and it's like, no,
No,
too
it really
harsh.
wasn't harsh.
Yeah, but I mean, to each their own.
Exactly.
It's subjective. What are you gonna do? It's like art.
Yeah, Doc. Sorry, we didn't mean to bust your balls about your.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Pizza
It's fine.
taste.
It's fine. It's fine. We're just. I'm a little. I like pizza.
I'm going to try those other ones. I'm going to
You
do
should
it. I'm
definitely try it.
open-minded.
I had one of my clients who owns a restaurant out in Elk Grove Village, Marino's Pizzeria. He does wood fire and does a regular pizza, and I was telling him that she should try Pequods, because he's also a foodie. He owns a restaurant, And he took his wife to Pequod's, and he goes, "What the hell is this you took me to?" He goes, "What? The crust was burnt." He goes, "It wasn't very heavy." He was thinking it was gonna be like this heavy. He goes, "It was very light and like it wasn't a lot of cheese on it." I'm like, "Yeah, that's just how they make the pizza.
Right.
They burn. What they do is around the edges, they burn mozzarella cheese.
Yes.
So it's like it's tasty, because burnt cheese it's good,
it's
right?
good.
They don't put a lot of cheese on top, even though it's a thick, deep dish,
Right.
But it's a lot more sauce. The sauce is good taste, good flavor.
Yeah.
But he was expecting like a Giordano style, heavy, a lot of
Right.
cheese, and it wasn't that. And he's like, I don't know, man. But he's a big dude, so he likes a lot of.
I like that.
So is Pequod is that the owner's name?
No,
Is that a word?
it's a word. Pequod. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Here's the weird thing. Their logo is the logo of a whale wearing a thong.
That's awesome.
And if you ask them why the whale is wearing a thong, nobody knows why.
Yeah.
There's no explanation.
Someone
for
knows
it.
why. They're just not
Someone
willing to
knows.
tell you.
Back in the 70s, somebody was doing some weird shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And was like, I think this is a good idea. And they're like, okay, let's run with it.
Not a great endorsement. You're going to get fat as a whale if you eat our food,
And you're probably going to run around in thong.
Yes. I have no idea. But hey, and the place is aesthetically not great. Like it's like a hole in the wall style place. But that pizza, man, I don't know.
I'm going to try it.
Try it out.
I'm going to do it.
I think we brought up Pequod's like on half of the podcast that we're done. So I think you're getting paid from Pequod. I think you're holding out on sponsorship money on me. I think you locked up a sponsor
I would have
deal.
bought it. I would have brought it here.
Right here.
And you're not cutting me in on my take.
Maybe, Paul. You never know. A lot of dealings going around here. All right.
So Doc, when did you start training jiu-jitsu?
It's been about almost 14 years now.
Wow. And you are a black belt under
Mark
Vives.
Vives. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So was it longer to get a black belt or longer to get an MD?
About equal.
Equal.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Mark was originally at Evanston Boxing Club. And I went there because I boxed when I was younger with my brother. My brother did well in the Golden Gloves. I did horribly. But I was his piñata. And so I just wanted to get exercise. So I went to the Evanston Boxing Club and then I saw the little flyer for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Mm-hmm. And I knew very little about it. I had done some judo, some karate. Okay. We all come from martial arts background. And then, and I had seen, of course, Hoist Gracie in Ultimate Fighter. And exactly. And I wanted to try it out. But I was scared. Mm-hmm. So I went, and his brother Miles was the first instructor there. And I went there once, and because of its proximity to Northwestern, they were all young Northwestern students that were there. And I didn't want to jump right in. So I did privates with Miles for a while.
Okay.
And I figured I'd learn some basics before I get in.
Right. Because
at that time, I was probably hovering around 40. And they were all hovering around 19.
Right.
So, and then Miles went on to greener pastures, and Mark took over. He was purple belt at the time. Mm-hmm. And then I did some privates with him, and then I jumped in.
Nice.
Once I felt like I had a good enough base.
And like, how did you feel? Like, do you think that did make a difference for you, or was it just kind of like a mental block? Or
you mean starting out with the privates?
Well, yeah. I mean, did you jump into the first couple of classes and start whooping some ass?
No.
No. Okay. And did you feel like I should have just jumped in from the beginning?
No. Listen. I still get my ass kicked to this day, constantly and at a constant rate.
Basically, like what I'm asking, was it when you first started? Like, was it as scary as you initially thought?
No. Once I joined the class, it wasn't. You know how it is. There's certain people in the class that kind of go hard and take it very, very seriously. Yeah. And then there's certain people who just kind of lay back and you flow rolling. And I would say that makes up the majority of the people that I encounter.
Right.
But, you want to have the skills to hold off the person who's aggressive, because it's representative of what you can probably do if you had to utilize it in a fight. And so you want that litmus test, so to speak. But, I have an occupation and I can't really get that injured. And so there's some anxiety level associated with it as well.
Sure. Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, so I did, and I continue to do privates now because for me, I kind of want to cherry pick who I roll with, so on and so forth. But you know, I would roll with virtually anyone. I mean, if it came down to it.
Yeah, that's one thing I need to start doing is some privates. There's so many good black belts in the area, and they all have like, hey, this guy's like really good at that. You know, it's like, hey, why not just hang out with that dude for an hour and like get that part of his game? You know.
Yeah, even when I travel, I'll kind of research who's in a particular area where I'm going and do privates, and I like doing that.
Yeah. What's the average price for a private nowadays?
Oh boy, they really vary.
Yeah.
I mean, when I go to New York, I've rolled with the Meows a couple of times, and they're up. Can I say this stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a private with them, and they're upwards of 300.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then I'll find a reputable purple belt, and it'll be $60.
Okay.
And so it depends. I mean, I rolled with probably one of the best rolls I've had when I went on a trip and I wanted to roll when I was there was with Orlando Montero. Do you know him?
No, I don't.
He's in Arizona. He's in Gustavo Dante's gym. He has like that mental BJJ game thing.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You'd know what I'm talking about if you saw it.
I've seen ads for that. Have you clicked on that or subscribed to it or anything?
I have not. But I rolled with him too. And he was nice, but Orlando was really nice. Orlando's blowing it up. He was a brown belt. Now he's a black belt. He's fought against Osher. You had him on your show,
right?
At purple belt. He's a tall guy. He's got serious ankle locks. I mean, if he looks at your ankles, they start hurting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
So that was a very good roll.
Okay.
And I went, when I go to Vegas, I've rolled with Sophia Drysdale. I've rolled with her ex-husband. And
how's the roll with him?
He's huge.
No, that's why I'm asking.
He took it easy on me.
Did he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Marcelo Garcia's, I rolled with Marcelo and Schreiner, Paul Schreiner.
Yeah.
That's his number 2 there, and I've rolled with him as well.
No Henzo?
No Henzo. You know who again, these are another one of those stories. I'm afraid if it gets out there, I'm going to be blacklisted. But I made a private. I called up Henzo, so he wasn't there, and Gregor Gracie. I had a private with him. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sleeping, and I'm supposed to meet him at like 9 o'clock, and I'm staying in Manhattan, so I'm just going to walk to the facility. And I get a call at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and heavy Brazilian accent. Hey man, I'm hungover. I'm not going to be able to meet you. Okay. So it never happened.
Oh, that's too bad.
I didn't even see the facility. I wanted to see it and roll there. So I never got to roll there yet. So Meows and Marcelo's place are the only 2 places I've been in the city itself. Okay.
How do you like Marcelo's?
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was the place that he had. Did you ever go to his place?
I have never.
He's in a newer place, which I've not been to, but the older place, the elevator door opens and the mat's there. So you got to take your shoes off in the elevator, then step
really?
off.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. How much is he for a private?
That was way back in the day, and that was, I think that was $250.
Okay.
That's got to be a lot more by now.
Yeah, I'm sure you can't even do it now.
Well, just New
You
York.
won't even do it.
Well, I think if you call, he's always like training for this or was getting ready for that or is away for this. Or so when I've called before, I don't even do it anymore. I always just call, Meow's place. What is it called again?
Unity.
Unity. That's it. Yeah. That place is tiny.
Is it?
Did you go to Unity? Have you gone to Unity? It's tiny, teeny tiny.
Yeah, that New York real estate, man.
Exactly.
It's hard to put mats down.
And both of them are in primo areas of the New York real estate. And so it's it's got to be very expensive.
Yeah. So how does the whole thing work when you take a private? Do you show up and you say, hey, this is something I really want to work on? Or do they ask you, or do they say, how does it go down?
Yeah, usually when I do it, I just want to roll, and then I tell them what am I really doing shitty, and what can I do better, and that's usually the direction that it goes. So
basically, you have them like analyze your game.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, and and most of them are pretty good about rolling. They don't rip my head off, which they probably easily could do.
Right.
I rolled with Jeff Glover. He went kind of hard, and That's probably not a private I would pay for again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you get out of Jeff? Did he do like his specialty stuff like deep half and
Yeah,
things
that was
like
right when his Deep Half DVD came out. So I was kind of happy and excited to roll with him. But he didn't seem into it. Mark had him in for a seminar.
Yeah.
And then after the seminar was over, so maybe he was just tired.
I could totally see that from him. You know what I mean? He'd be the guy who's like, not enthusiastic about it. And
and he just did I'm a physician, so I teach students, and so when I'm on the unit or I'm on the clinic with a student, I'm not going to make a fool of them. I'm going to ask them questions, see what their knowledge is, and then bring it down to that level and make it a positive experience. Because if you make it a positive experience, they're going to grow and they're going to enjoy what it is that they do. And I think it's the same with jiu-jitsu. You want to make it a positive experience. You don't want to make it a negative experience where the person hates it and hates you,
and then comes on a podcast 4 years later and says that your privates suck.
So he was like, at one point he was just like, I'm going to do nothing but triangle you. You don't have to worry about anything but getting triangled, and I'm going to triangle you. And he did, but it's just like, it's like me again taking a medical student and then, destroying them on spine anatomy. I could do it, but what's it really going to prove?
Right.
Other than I'm an asshole.
Right. So what's the best private you've had?
They were all good, but I like Lucas Lepre. Mark had him come in, having him come in again. So I would highly recommend coming by when he does come by. It's like in April or something like that. He was great. Loved rolling with it. Orlando Montero. I really enjoyed rolling with him. Marcelo Garcia, how could you not like it? But you feel like you haven't taken a lesson in your life after you roll with someone like that.
Bet. I always heard it's incredible. Like he's just like,
he's here 1 minute and then he's not there anymore.
It's crazy.
And
how many ahead? Like, how like chess players play chess and they're like 10 moves ahead of you.
Oh yeah,
that's how Garcia is, right? He's just like 20 moves ahead. Like he already knows where you're going to go, and he's going to be there 20 moves ahead of you. It's got to be like that. Because there's some roles I have with black belts around here, including our own professor, where it's like, I go to do something, and it's like he's so far ahead of me, and he already knows. And even with Tyler, he's so good. One of our purple belts, Tyler, is like, his setups are so nice, and I'm just like, and I know, like, as soon as he grabs my arm, I'm like, I put my arm there, and you wanted me to do that.
Yeah,
like you wanted me to do this, and you're not even going for that arm. You're going for and he catches me. I'm like, your setups. He goes, that's what I'm working on. I'm like, that's where I need to get to. Like, I know where I'm at in the pecking. I know where I'm at because there's guys like that exist in the gym who are setting up for setups. He's like, I'm going to set this up and then I'm going to do something totally different. It's beautiful. It's so artistic the way he does it. And his rolls are so nice. He was initially a hard roll for me until, we got to know each other a little bit more in the gym. And now he he knows that I'm trying to learn. So he's not going to just be, bully. He's a young kid. He could easily just bully me around. But now he gives me some time to kind of figure things out before he just destroys me. Yeah. And then now it's a better role for me because I'm learning and he's doing what he needs to do to do his setups because it's working.
And you look forward to it rather than dread it. And it inspires you to go to the next level rather than say, I want to quit.
Absolutely.
And so that's the key.
Yeah, that's true, and it's really nice to have training partners like that.
I'm even now I jump around. Like I do privates with Jeff, and I love rolling with Jeff Surfin. Same thing. He could crush me at any moment in time, but he doesn't. And he lets me do the things that I'm working on, but gives me the resistance that I need so that I can compete. And it's the same thing with Mark and pretty much all the people that I roll with now. But I don't really do any classes now. I cherry pick with people who I trust, people who I think have a lot of talent. And then I roll with them.
Yeah, that's a good way to be.
Yeah.
So do you currently have any injuries?
Gosh, my back is always hurting, but to the point that it's manageable. Yeah. And I would say my shoulder. Yeah, those are the two. I would say spine is pretty common. There's, the guys who come to me and say I have an injury, I would say spine's up there. I would say that's followed by shoulder, and I would say that's followed by knee. Those are the three biggies that I hear about.
Now, is it like, because I'm just trying to think of this, is it it's an injury, the spine, but is it just a deterioration of the spine through years of just standing up all the time and walking around all the time, and just eventually you're just going to start deteriorating and you're going to get injured regardless if you're doing jiu-jitsu or you're, doing underwater basket weaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whatever. It's just something that's going to happen. Eventually you're going to have some kind of back issues with you.
There's this whole entity, which I hate the term when I have my patients, called degenerative disc disease. And all it is wear and tear process that we all undergo.
Right.
As
aging.
Exactly.
That's it.
Our discs are 90% water when we're born, and they dehydrate as time goes on. Just like leaving a wet sponge on the counter. Eventually it's going to kind of shrink and dry up. But it's very slow in humans. And it's counterintuitive, but people who are active tend to have less spine issues than people who are inactive. So being sedentary is not the way to go. Mm-hmm. On the counterpoint, a lot of what we do puts a lot of stress on our back. We go inverted and, bridge, so on, get into awkward positions. So I think an ounce of prevention goes a long way. And so core strengthening, very important for the lower back, what we call scapular stabilization, very important for the neck itself. And I'm always trying to get the guys who get injured to get in the rhythm of doing that. And if they continue to do that, they can continue to do jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. So you can either pay me now or pay me later is really what it comes down to. So I encourage everyone to do that. Even if you don't have spine problems, neck or lower back, incorporate, scapular stabilization, which is basically just strengthening the muscles between your shoulder blades, and then core strengthening. We all know abdominals, lumbar paraspinals, the muscles alongside the spine, and the gluteus muscles. Work with those while you're doing your strength and conditioning, and it's going to be a good investment moving forward.
So what do you, I always have an issue with my back here, right around here, right? It's got to be a muscle thing.
That seems like a rib all the way.
I just feel like it's a muscle thing. It just comes in, I don't know when it's going to come on. It usually comes on right before a competition. I don't know if it's because I'm training harder.
Yeah.
But that's when it usually, develops or
it's a great question. I mean, there's muscle in that area, there's bone in that area, there's discs that can refer symptoms to that area.
Right.
It's a moot point as long as you're not getting nerve symptoms down your arm. Then again, scapular stabilization is going to be something that's going to serve you well. We can go through that after we're done with this. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But I guarantee you the frequency and the severity of those episodes you get will go down if you were to adhere to something like that. I do that every morning. So in the morning, I do kind of strength and conditioning sort of stuff. I'll swim, I'll spin, go for a run, but I'll also do my core strengthening and scapular stabilization. Then I do jiu-jitsu at night.
How long do you do that in the morning? First... Is it 20 minutes? Is it 10 minutes?
So when I get out of bed before I leave for the pool or to spin or the run, I do that for 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
That's all it takes. And I can do for the neck and for the lower back. And then that wakes me up and I'm warmed up to go do what I want to do. And I do that and then I'll do jiu-jitsu at night.
Does it require any, I know basketball shows, but does it require any
I use, there is no wrong or right way. I mean, there are people who do it through yoga. You address some people who do it through Pilates. I like that Swiss ball, that big round ball that you see in every gym. I love doing it on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I usually have to roll out with one of those foam rollers in the morning. That's what I usually do, roll out the back a little bit.
And that's good because you're basically giving yourself a self-massage and it's really nice, but you got to incorporate some strengthening and stretching in there. Yeah.
When's the last time you touched a weight, Cito?
I don't know, 90s.
You look buff, though.
It's just jiu-jitsu. That's all it is. The 90s.
For real?
Yeah.
It's been 20 years since you touched a weight.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Crazy.
You can't even buy a kettlebell for yourself?
No.
You're just not going to do it, are you?
I won't do it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know no weights. Yeah, I did weights in 90. So when I was still working at this company called Book Covers, we had a weight room upstairs and we had one of our Polish electricians. He was teaching me how to lift weights, which he wasn't an instructor at. So he told me this is what I needed to do. He goes, okay, we're gonna start you out. And I weighed at that time I don't know, maybe 120 pounds, something like that.
Right.
He's like, okay, so we'll start you at 120, your weight. He goes, and then if you could bench 10, then go up 10 pounds, and then bench. If you could make 10, go up 10 pounds, and then if you can't move at 10, that's where you should be. I'm like, all right. So I did 10 120, then I did 10 130, and then I got to 140. I'm like, I could barely do 140. Right. He goes, okay, stay there for a week until you can max out 140, then keep going up. So I was doing this for months,
And then
right?
you got a hernia.
And then I blew out my shoulders.
Oh my God, I know.
Fucking blew out my shoulder. I got up to like, I think it was like 190. And I was, and then he's like, then he goes, okay, if you want to, let's see if you could do 230 one time. I'm like, why? What's that? He goes, let's just see what you can max out at. Because he was a big bodybuilder.
Right.
Well, he wasn't a bodybuilder. He was
like
a big, you know,
It's a
guy.
big thing to those guys.
Yeah.
Bro, I maxed out at 260,
Exactly.
bro. Yeah.
So I was able to do one rep of 230, which I only weighed like 120 something. But I hurt my shoulders were so trashed, and then I had to stop. I'm like, I can't even move anymore.
Yeah.
And I just stopped. I just didn't care for the weights after that. I didn't want to do it. And I did that for, like I said, months, but that was in the early 90s.
I think of the Saturday Night Live. We want to pump you all.
Yeah, right.
Right. Everyone's form was just garbage, I'm sure.
Yeah. It was a horrible way of doing things.
Do you lift? Phil?
No, I mean, I'll do pull-ups. I got a bar at home. I'll do pull-ups and push-ups. That's pretty much the most of it.
I think I like those type of exercises,
I have kettlebells that, like, I'll get into phases where I'll be, like, pretty consistent with kettlebells for, like, a week, and then that'll stop. But, it's hard to find the time, between work and jiu-jitsu and everything. But, yeah, so body weight stuff, like if I get 15 minutes, I'll do push-ups and pull-ups.
Yeah. And do you like the TRX, the suspension thing? You know what I'm talking about? It's like you hang it off some sort of bar and you pull yourself. Yeah.
I've never done that.
Oh,
before.
like the bands?
No, it's like a I don't even know the material that it is, but it's, you use your own body weight to lift yourself, and you can do chest and you can do back and all that stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And you put it in a doorway and I have one of those. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about shoulder shrugs, Doc? Is that good for anything, or is it just?
They're good. You're working your traps a lot,
Right.
and part of the scapular stabilization is trapezius muscles. It's the rhomboids, the trapezius muscles. All those muscles that live between the shoulder blades are important for shoulder injury prevention and neck injury prevention. Right. So yeah, not bad. Yeah. I like rows, anything that you not necessarily on a machine. Mm-hmm. You can use the TRX, you can use weights, you can use bands. It doesn't matter. I don't think there's I'm not looking to build muscle. I'm just looking to get tone to prevent these injuries.
Right.
Yeah.
What have you seen out there that people do that are like you're just like shake your head at? You're like, why are you doing that? It's so bad for you.
It's exactly the stuff you were talking about.
Yeah,
and
right.
We all do that when we're young, right?
Yeah.
And we all try that, and then you go through that phase, and then you move on to something else, or you become a couch potato,
Right.
or you get shoulder surgery for blowing out your shoulders.
Yeah. That was horrible. God, so silly.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. Yeah, we don't know anything. The 90s. There was no YouTube back then. What the
There
fuck?
wasn't.
There was
I know.
nothing.
Does Mineko's gym? Does he have like a weight area, or
He
it's
does.
just purely okay?
Yeah, he's got a weight area. He's got kettlebells. I've never used any of that stuff. John uses all that stuff.
Yeah.
He looks ripped.
Mineko?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's ripped.
He's
But I don't
the
know.
type of guy
Does
that
he?
works out.
Yeah, he works out. Yeah.
He has to work out. Yeah.
Yeah, he's ripped.
Yeah, we have dudes that will roll hard as balls for like an hour straight, and then like I'm like crawling to the shower, and they're like setting up the squat rack, and I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Don't you feel so bad? You're like, hi.
I was proud of myself a moment ago when I was just like, I just rolled like 7 or 8 hard rounds, you know what I mean? And now I feel like a piece of shit. Thanks, John.
Oh, and then he's taking the cold showers. One of our teammates is like, man, he's a beast. Like, are you gonna do that? You're gonna go with him to?
Yeah, he rolls hard. He rolls harder than anyone in the gym. Then he squats a bunch, and then he takes a freezing cold shower.
What is he? How old is he?
29.
29.
Yeah, he's intense.
Does he get injuries?
No.
No.
Mm-mm. Well, not that John would ever complain about an injury,
exactly.
but
Just a flesh wound.
But he goes to Lake Michigan, and like submerges himself in the water, like in the middle of January. I'm like, what? How? I'm like, dude, it's frozen. How'd you get in? He's like, we climbed down the ladder, and I just bust a hole in the ice with my feet. Just hop in. I'm like, what?
He goes, come on, guys, you can come with.
Yeah,
I'm
he's like, you want to go? I'm like, no.
What is it? Is he a Navy SEAL? What is his story?
Just passionate
Just
about
one of those dudes that pushes,
Yeah.
to the next limit,
What does he do for a living? Does he work, or this is it?
No, he works.
He works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what he
I'm
does.
not even sure what he
Yeah.
does.
He's probably something like a counselor, like something
yeah.
touchy feely.
Probably. I couldn't see that, but yeah, maybe.
Like a pediatric counselor.
Yeah, right?
What? I wonder what job or what career needs jujitsu the most.
I don't know.
Do you think? Stress-wise.
Stress. I'd say police officer. That would
Yeah,
be-
yeah. That you could use it for that.
Well,
but-
not just use it, but like just the humbling of it for a police officer. I think police officers, not all, but a lot of them need to be humbled. And I think, man,
And it's a good outlet.
that's a good outlet as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
because they take a lot of that shit home with them. I'm sure it's tough to deal with people lying to you all fucking day long.
Yeah.
All day long. They're lying to you.
Right.
Everybody.
Everyone's lying straight to your face.
Everyone's lying straight to your face.
Yeah.
At a constant rate.
Constant
Yeah.
rate. It's got to be so. I would never want that job. I would never wish that job on my
Yeah.
worst
And
enemy.
it's the worst job ever, right?
It's tough. So
And
I would
now
say,
it's underappreciated.
for sure.
So
for
it's a
sure.
hard job and underappreciated.
Yeah. But no, I was talking to my buddy Kevin Hawkins, and he's like, if cops had more training, they'd feel more comfortable in combat, scenarios, and they wouldn't kind of, reach for their firearm so quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
A lot of the times,
100% true. Yeah. But I think that's like something that they train them. Like, listen, you got to go there. You got to go there right away, because you're not going to sit there and just try to fight someone, because you just never know.
Right.
So you got to get that equalizer out right away, because that's going to equalize any situation. So say you're in a one-on-one situation, even though it's you and this, I don't know, let's just say it's just like, a 19-year-old kid. Yeah, you could probably take that kid on, but why even risk the fact that you might get knocked out? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though you
True.
know you can handle yourself, but you gotta take that equalizer out, because for a fact you shoot him, he's dead.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you're a black belt in jiu-jitsu, you still know that there's the slim chance that this kid could knock you out, right? But if you're not a black belt in jiu-jitsu, if you have no training, you're
Right.
far more scared, aren't you?
Far more scared. That
Right.
adrenaline, you're not used to that adrenaline rush, you're not used to that dump, and
Right.
you just don't know.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
you haven't been put in those situations where you're, because I mean, we get choked out and we take that for granted. But, you're going to sleep if you don't tap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I almost went to sleep the other day. Coincidentally, it was with Tyler, but because I like to go deep. I go deep because I want to make sure that his technique is good.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to tap on anything. And he went deep, and I was like, I tapped out, and I just looked up. I'm like, oh yeah,
That was a close one.
that was close. That was good. That was great.
Have you gone under?
Not since the 90s. Back in the day, we used to just put each other out.
Do it for the heck of it.
Just to see what the fuck it was. We did some stupid shit back then. I don't know.
I'm almost 100% sure it was Jeff Serafin when he came on the podcast was telling us that
Oh, it was?
his first jiu-jitsu class, he got put out 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to ask him about
Yeah.
that.
We were like, Jeff, what the fuck? He's like, nobody taught me how to tap. He's like, I didn't know it was my first class. I didn't know. 3 times he went to sleep.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
That must have been good technique. He's hard to put unconscious.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
now
this
he
is
is.
his first
Yeah.
class. Yeah, this is just a light
but he's
bulb.
got a big neck, and it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I use a lot of stuff. Like when I roll with him, I went to his open mat, and ever since then, I hear him. Like when I'm getting choked out or in a triangle or whatever the case is, I channel Seraphin, like, just breathe through a straw, just breathe through, relax, just breathe through a straw. I had him. He allowed me to put him in a triangle for like all of, like, I don't know, it seemed like 2-3 minutes. And I was like,
Until your legs burnt out.
basically, yeah. And I'm like, how's this guy still breathing? And he's like breathing through a straw, completely relaxed, like just relaxed. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is crazy.
still getting that one red oxygenated blood cell
That's
to
it.
the brain,
That's all you
keeping him
need.
conscious.
That's all you need. Just enough. Just enough. So yeah, I go deep, and that's because of Seraphin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
good.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, and it makes your training partner really, have those finishing details,
Well, yeah.
The
I mean,
details you need for comp.
I never want to train with someone who taps early. That seems silly.
Yeah.
Just I'm not saying get your arm hurt or injured, but in a choke, why don't tap early for a choke?
Yeah.
It seems silly.
For the most part, so I go deep just like you do, but when I'm getting arm barred, I'll, like we all do, we fight to the death not to get that grip broken. But as soon as that thing breaks, I'm tapping.
it's tap
I
right
don't
away.
need
It's
my
not worth
arm
it.
to be extended.
No, exactly.
I know when I'm got.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but chokes you can go deep.
Chokes, you could go deep.
Yeah.
I've never been under, though.
We had someone in Mark's gym. This was in his old gym. I don't know if he told you this story, but this we had he's not really a kid. I mean, he was a captain in the Marine Corps, and he was going to Kellogg, the business school, and he got caught in an arm slicer.
Okay.
And he said, and I was there. Mark was there, I think. Yeah, Mark was there for sure. And he said, wait, I think my gi ripped. And his gi didn't rip. And we took off his sleeve. He had a compound fracture. It went right through. Wow. Came out the skin.
Really? Bicep slicer, huh?
Damn.
And in the arm, when you're in the arm bar and you're protecting it,
yeah.
and the person on top decides to put you in a slicer instead, that's how it happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
He had to get surgery right away.
Did he come back to jiu-jitsu?
He did.
He did.
Is he still in
He
it?
was a crazy person. I don't know where he is now.
Okay.
Who broke his arm? Call him out. Who did it? Do we know?
Cyril Chen. Did you know Cyril Chen?
No.
Cyril Chen's a doctor now.
Is he?
Yeah. He went to He was one of the Northwestern students that I was afraid of, and and now we're friends.
Awesome.
And he's an ER doctor now.
Nice. Well,
Wow.
at least he could break you and fix you at the same time.
Exactly.
Compound fracture, huh?
I've never from a bicep slicer. That's
It works.
pretty gangster.
Well, that's how Bernie broke his arm.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But he did it to himself.
Right.
But he did it to himself.
Really? Did a slicer to himself?
Yeah.
Well,
no,
he pulled out.
he pulled out of a bicep slicer with so much vigor and gusto that he broke his own arm.
Right.
So was it his forearm that broke?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was somewhere here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's crazy. Gotta love it.
Wow. So is that the worst injury you've seen, on the mat?
Visualized, yeah.
Personally?
Yeah.
Because you've been ringside to UFCs now.
I've been ringside for a lot of MMA here in Illinois.
Okay.
And the first UFC that came here, I was there. You inaugurated.
UFC 90, I believe, was it?
Was that what it was?
Yeah. Anderson Silva versus Patrick Cote.
Yes.
Maybe the worst main event in history.
You remember it.
I was there.
You were there?
Hell yeah. UFC came here for the first time. I'm pretty sure.
Those tickets sold out.
Yeah. At the, where was it?
Was it Allstate or
Arena?
Rosemont? One of those two.
Yeah, it was the Allstate Arena.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah.
before I only went to the Rosemont. No. What's the one over on in Chicago? What's that?
The United Center.
United Center. That's
Yeah.
the only one I've ever been to.
Yeah.
For UFC.
Yeah. Do you remember the Anderson Silva Patrick
I
Cote
do.
fight?
It was horrible.
It was, yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
And I examined him.
Patrick Cote.
Yes.
Yeah. What? Yeah, let's talk about this. What are you looking for exactly when?
Well, he went down. He said he hurt his knee.
Right.
And then they stopped the fight.
Right.
But
Right.
that was when Anderson Silva was on a tear.
Yeah.
I would-
But Anderson wasn't that the beginning? That was right when he started showboating, and he was trying to prove a point. I just remember it being a horrible main event.
He was definitely starting to get momentum in that fight, and it, he was putting everybody out, and it was I think it was coming. But anyway, Patrick said he had a knee injury, and then he felt that it got re-aggravated, just positional. It wasn't anything that Anderson Silva did to him.
Yeah.
And then, you go in the ring, and I examined him, but I didn't find anything on exam.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's a meniscus tear or an ACL or something like that, you're not necessarily going to see it right there and then.
Right.
They'll get swelling the next day or later on that evening. But he said he couldn't fight anymore, so you can't. You can't say, get up and fight.
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
Rub some dirt on it.
So when you see guys and they take a good heavy ground and pounding in a round and they go back to their stool, you come in and kind of take a look at them, don't you?
And that's where it's complicated.
Right. So what are you looking for there?
Well, first of all, you want to make sure that they're oriented to place and time, and you want to make sure that they're neurologically, look at their pupils and make sure neurologically everything's working out.
How do you do that from looking at their pupils?
So that if you put light on it, they should constrict.
Right.
If someone's got a bad head injury, it may not react.
Okay.
And if they're starting to have a bleed of some sort, it may not react. So you're looking for that.
So if it doesn't react, that's a bad sign.
Correct.
I see.
Yeah.
Even, because in when the adrenaline's going at that high of a level, your pupils get big, right? So even if you hit it with the flashlight, they're going to
respond
down.
every single time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're trying to make sure that the fighters are responsive to...
mostly it's cognition, meaning are they aware of where they are?
Right.
And are they going to be able to answer your questions?
Now, how do you tell the difference between that, like a guy who's taken too many shots to the head versus a guy who's just like so jacked up into the fight? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you've ever been in a fights before, but sometimes it's like, what happened? You have to ask your buddy. You know what I mean? Because the adrenaline was so much.
Yeah.
Or like if you had a really intense match, you kind of like don't remember some of it, Right.
You're going to tell. They're going to be foggy. They're going to be disoriented. The guys who are taking a pounding, it's going to be pretty obvious when it happens. But most of the time, you're called to the corner. It's a cut that they want you to evaluate, and that's when it gets a little bit tricky. Of when should you stop the fight and when shouldn't you stop the fight, and they want to fight. They trained. They went through an entire camp, and then you're going to stop it because of a cut. It's not going to go over well. So you got to be pretty confident about your call.
Yeah, that's. I do like the way the UFC does it. I mean, they let some stuff go.
Yeah.
Like some of those cuts, I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
The bell just rang again.
Those hematomas are just like
huge.
crazy.
Yeah, but so technically, if it's blocking their vision, so you can kind of assess someone's peripheral vision very quickly in a corner, because you basically, if you can see it, if I can see my fingers, then you should be able to see it. So I hold it equidistant from each other.
Right.
And if they're having a hard time doing that, then it's probably not a good idea, because then they're not going to see punches coming, they're not going to see this kicks coming, and they're at a danger to themselves.
Right.
And so that's how you can quickly assess that in the corner. Or if a cut is bleeding so much that it's coming down into their eye, again, blocking vision, that's really something you want to act on.
So it's really the blocking of the vision, not getting blood in the eye.
Correct.
That's the problem.
Correct.
That's
Well,
the
it's getting in the eye and it's blocking their vision.
But is it bad to get the blood in the eye?
No, it's not toxic or
not
anything
toxic,
in its
right.
true sense, but it's gonna obstruct your vision.
Right,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Man.
That was the other reason I had a hard time continuing to do it. We talked a little bit before about why I stopped doing it, but it was just my training and head injury, so on and so forth. I felt a little hypocritical because some of these people were really taking a beating. They're pretty good at the high end matches like the UFC, and I covered Strikeforce and I covered WEC, but some of these other like smaller venues like XFO, so on and so forth. These guys are taking a beating, and they're not getting paid very much for it. And it's just,
and everybody's on steroids at the amateur level.
Exactly, and it started weighing on my conscience. So that was, it was time consuming, and there was a lot of political things that were going on, but it was also weighing on my conscience. Watching people do that.
Right. Now, how does a guy like Michael Bisping get cleared with one eye?
Good Lord.
Talk about a guy who can't see shit coming. Like, you have one eye, but I mean, still like a high level striker. I mean,
that is definitely a judgment call.
Yeah.
We had a fighter in XFO like that as well, and he became the XFO champion, but he was literally blind in one eye.
Yeah. Wow.
That's something. Wow.
Yeah. That MMA is such a tough game, man.
It really is.
Especially like if you're trying to make it your living, just to get to the UFC, you gotta, fight at all these smaller regional circuits, and
hope you survive those.
And everyone's on
injuries.
steroids for
They figure out ways to get around the test.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like you got to fight through like a circus of steroid users to get to that top level,
And you got to be proficient at multiple disciplines, and it's a commitment. I don't know how they do it. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's definitely a way of life. I mean,
Yeah.
they're in it 100%. You know, you can't half-ass that type of career.
Right.
You know, you got to be all committed. Well, it's in anything really. I mean, but I mean, I enjoy watching it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I do. I like to see how well the ground works
Me too.
in those fights when I watch them.
I mean, this past year, I'd say the more UFCs we watch, it's almost like I fast forward the stand up and I just want to see the ground.
I know. I'm the
It's
same
like,
way.
Just want to see the ground.
Yeah.
Just show me what's going to happen when you guys get to the ground.
Right.
And don't fucking stand them up. Let them work. It annoys me so much when they're like, okay, get up. Come on, give them a little more time. Especially if you know they're a jiu-jitsu artist. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the ref knows. There's a lot of new refs coming in now, but if the ref knows this dude's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, he's going to work something. Give him
Right.
a little bit of time. Who cares about the crowd booing?
Right.
So
Especially the huge. You watch the huge guys. You know you're not going to get that.
right,
You know it's just going to be a slobbered
exactly.
fest, lean on each other, punch fest.
Yeah.
I covered Fedor's fight when he came here.
Did you?
And dude, man, wow.
Yeah.
He broke his thumb in that fight. I forgot who he fought. Do you remember when he came here?
Who did he fight? Was it King Mo? Was
No.
No.
No. It would come
It was,
to
a,
me.
it was a no-name guy. Wasn't it someone no-name, like really tall guy?
I can't remember. If someone said his name, I'd remember. But I remember he won decidedly the way he always does. But he did, he just pounded the guy. And then his trainer came to see me, and he said, they want you to see Fedor in the locker room. Something's wrong with his hand. And I said, okay. So I went in there, and it was just mobbed with, Russian press, so on and so forth. And they ushered me to the shower, and he just had that towel around his waist. And he showed me his hand, and his thumb was at a right angle.
Oh. So what do? You're like, okay,
And they were
bite
like,
down.
and then he's standing there, and the trainer's there, and someone was standing there translating. They said, "What do you think's going on?" And I was like, "That's broke."
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you sign this?
Can I take a picture with you?
Oh, man.
Put your thumb up.
Right.
Let's do thumb. Let's have a thumb wrestle together.
Right.
Yeah.
I know I can beat you today.
Now I can beat you for sure. This is one sport I can beat you at. But and he said he's flying back to. I think he was flying back to Russia. Flying back to Russia tonight. Is it okay? And I said, well, you might want to at least splint that. I think it's probably going to need to be surgerized. Not that that's the real word, but you got to at least splint. I was hanging there. It was like. And he just smiled at me, and he put his hand on my shoulder. He was like patting me on the head. He was like, "Nice, thanks, but no thanks. Go away, you little man."
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I would be crying like a baby in the corner with like
He didn't care.
a blankie wrapped around me if that happened to me.
Yeah.
But he was like laughing at it.
Yeah.
Something.
So, how have you ever had to pop something back in?
My toe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I still like to do judo, but it's so hard on your body.
Yeah, it is.
And I do it with, do you know the Cohens, RJ Cohen and Aaron Cohen?
I've heard of him.
They're really good at judo. Their father was in the Olympics, and they just have a good camp out in Vernon Hills. So I go out there every blue moon to work on, throws and so on and so forth. And one day we were doing it, and my toe got caught in the creases in the mat. And my toe looked like Fedor's thumb. It was at a right angle.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh man, did I break my toe? And even RJ looked at it. Both of us were getting lightheaded looking at my toe. And then he reached down and he pulled on it. It popped in.
Really?
I was drenched with sweat when he did that. It was like my silhouette was on the mat.
Now, did you ask him to do it? Or
No.
Was it a surprise attack too?
Yes.
Was it, pop.
He
Oh,
was like,
really?
yeah.
Yeah. See, that's a gangster move.
And then
right there.
it felt fine. It felt totally normal. But then that night it swelled up and it looked like, what is that dinosaur that the kids love?
Barney?
Yes.
Barney,
My
yeah.
toe looked like Barney.
Oh man,
Wow.
that's a tough one.
Yeah. I always wonder that too. Like if there's we need a doctor in our gym.
It's got some perks to it, man. These
So
guys get
there's you, and you said there's another guy over at New Breed. How many doctors are over there? And then you have Sam Spiegelman. You guys are like ready for some shit over
we're like
there.
a mash tent.
Yeah, exactly. mash.
No, I think there's a when you go through training, you're an intern your first year, then you're a resident, and then if you want to do additional training, you do a fellowship before you go into practice. We have a cardiology fellow there. So if anyone has a heart attack, we are all set.
You're good to go there.
Yes.
Right?
And then I think that's it. I think that's just
That's
me.
all you need.
Yeah.
You're either going to like dislocate something or
Have a heart attack.
Have a heart attack. Pretty much, right? Like those are two
it.
catastrophes in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So
I always feel like I hurt my pinky the other day. I was posting on the mat. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
just felt it like, man, do I really need a pinky? Can't I just cut this part off? I just have a nub. It's like, man, that'd be so much because it's very little.
Do you tape it? Do you do like all that taping?
I only tape if I'm injured.
Yeah.
So I don't just tape the tape.
Yeah.
But now I have to tape this a little bit because it just feels a little unstable right now, and I'm like, it's not broken, but
we should be grateful. We don't have like Kurt Ostrander. How do you pronounce the name?
Kurt Osiander.
Osiander. His fingers. Did you ever see his fingers?
yeah, it's disgusting.
Jacked up.
You got some knuckles. You're a spider
I know.
guard. You're a spider guard player, aren't you?
Yeah. I saw a patient like a month ago, and she said, "Wow, do you have rheumatoid arthritis?" I was like, "No, thanks." I didn't think they were that bad, but yeah, I guess they are.
Yeah, those knuckles down here.
I guess it's because I'm thin.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear. Like as an electrician, like the last thing I want to break is my fingers.
Yeah.
I'd rather have like a tweaked knee. I could hobble at work. I've done it. It's not fun. But if I can't use my hands, I can't do shit. I can't get paid.
Right.
No, that's what I worry about. I've broken a couple of fingers before.
Oh, really?
And then I can't do what I do because I do a lot of injections. Can't do them.
Yeah.
And then you got to explain to your partners, I broke a finger. How'd you do it? Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Because the sad thing is, like, I mean, these, my crew already looks at me like I'm like really? What's that all about? But if it came down to it, I would leave my job for sure. Like, if you made me choose.
Do they even know what jiu-jitsu is?
Yeah. Like they're like, what's that? And they do the like, wow.
No, they don't know what it is.
And then I'll have to show them like YouTube videos of like, the IBJJF like Worlds 2016 highlight video.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love that one. Or the 2011 to 2015 ADCC highlights from Stuart Cooper. Yeah. That's a good one too.
That's a good one.
But I'm like, yeah, this is what this is. And they're like, oh, okay, well, why? What are you preparing for? Like a zombie apocalypse? And it's like, no, this stops me from choking you guys out. Right. Okay?
This is so I can stand you all day.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But they're like, yeah, they're like, oh, what if you get hurt? It's like, I don't know, man. Like my soul would hurt if I couldn't do this. So.
But I get a lot of people to my clinic by word of mouth that they know that I do jiu-jitsu and they've gotten hurt doing jiu-jitsu or MMA, and it makes them feel better because, I think you go to a regular doctor and they think you're standing in front of a mirror doing reverse punches and blocks, and they have no idea what you're doing. So how are they going to give you direction in terms of recovery and so on and so forth?
Oh,
very true.
It's totally. I mean, when I dislocated my rib.
Really painful.
Oh, it's the worst. And a buddy of mine said, look, I got this chiropractor. Go see him. He's a college wrestler. He was like, Big Ten college wrestler. He's an awesome chiropractor. My whole family goes to him. So I go and I'm like, oh, he's a grappler. Good. Like, he's going to get it, And I walk in there and I meet this guy, and he does his examination. He's like, all right, it's dislocated. What you're going to have to do is wear a rib brace for about 8 weeks for it to go back into place. But I know you're not going to do any of that. So we'll see you back on the mats probably 5 weeks before you should be, And he's like, you just have to wait till it calcifies over.
Yeah. And it's still sort of this day.
He basically knew like, oh, you train? Okay. So you're not going to do anything I say. And here's what's going to happen.
You're just here for verification.
Exactly.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Does it still bother you? It still bothers you.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll never not.
Yeah. So
I'm just verifying it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Doc. Yeah.
There's no magic pill. There's no magic pill. Not even stem cells, right?
It's just out and it's staying out.
done anything with stem cells?
We're doing it at our hospital because,
Okay.
if you don't do it, someone down the block is going to do it.
So, I mean, you do it. What are the results?
I'm not doing it personally. My partners are doing it. They're doing it for, like arthritic hips. People have torn labrums in the hips. So chronic tendinopathies, tendinitis, that won't get better with standard protocols. But it's expensive because it's not really reimbursed by most insurers. So it's really expensive, and it's cash.
So what's the cost of a shot?
It depends on what you're going after, but it can be up to $3,000.
And then how long does it last? Is that like permanent?
Here's a better question. What if it doesn't? Some people it doesn't even help, and
Really?
and you've dropped that coin. Yeah,
So you're just dropping it, just be like, this may or may not work.
exactly,
I've got no other choice, right?
exactly. And sometimes it's high-end athletes because we have
Sure.
a couple of them that are affiliated with the hospital,
Makes
and
sense.
they're willing to try anything to get back on the field.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if I knew, I'd try it just because it's that important to me.
Yeah.
If it makes me feel better.
Yeah, and
but
it's- and-
isn't
and the
there
research-
different levels of stem cells as well? There's different types and different like.
I think most of what they're doing right now is they're taking your own blood, they're spinning it out, and then there's growth hormone products within that, and they're using that.
I don't want to use I want younger blood. Why would I use my current? Fuck that. Give me some
Yeah,
young.
that shit's broken.
20-year-old.
We already know that.
Yeah, my shit's broken. Give me some young kid. Give me that blood.
Right.
Man.
I want like a former World Series pitcher's blood.
Yeah, I want that.
Thoroughbred.
Yes.
Yeah.
How old's Kyle Terry? He's too old. No, he's too
Too
old.
old.
Give me some young jiu-jitsu
Way too
guy.
many. Eats way too many Skittles.
Way too many. Yeah.
His stem cells would be like partially sugar.
He was here. He came here.
Yeah.
Were you at that seminar?
I did not go to that seminar. I don't know if he rolled at that seminar. I only like to go to seminars, and this is something only if the guy's gonna roll afterwards.
Oh, really?
He did not roll
that's the
afterwards.
Criteria. Yeah.
That's the.
He didn't roll.
Yeah, he
Can
didn't roll.
you ask Codger Gracie if he's going to roll with me before I decide to attend his seminar?
I'm just saying. That's one of the things I look for. I like to know that the guy's gonna, even if long as it doesn't just roll, even if he doesn't choose to roll with me, I just want to see the guy roll.
Yeah.
In live. It's nice.
Yeah.
I just wanted him to show up, take my cash, take some photos, and get. I really don't take any photos. I just want to see you roll with an instructor, just live roll. It's just for me. It's like seeing a person painting the Mona Lisa live.
Right.
That's how it is when I watch
With
jiu-jitsu from
someone,
those
not
guys.
necessarily everyone, because you're going to
Not
get hurt.
necessarily everyone,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
But just show me a roll with a high level guy. I just want to see it.
Yeah.
I don't care that you're taking pictures. I don't like that. I don't
Yeah.
roll.
Did you
That's
see
what
him
I
at
want you to
the
do.
Fight to Win?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
It's just amazing. Fucking amazing. And Jeff Kern's no joke.
I know.
Amazing. That's why I like to look at.
Yeah.
It's fucking art. It's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah. Him, Hodger Gracie, all those guys. Man, that's where you got to get to.
Are you guys going to the Pan Ams?
I'm not. No.
No.
I'm registered, but there's no one in my division.
What are you, master? What?
Master 23.
That's good. It's good. It's a good one. It's a good one to be.
No, I'm Master 5 light feather. That's like
Hey, I'm light.
That's
Am
like
I
a-
light feather? You 141 in the gi?
141.5.
141.
That's right. It's very important.
Yeah, I don't even come close to that 141 at all. I weigh in with my gi at like 136.
Do you really?
Yeah, I'm like.
Oh, yeah. No, I have to lose a little bit.
Do you? Yeah.
But there's no one in the division. And so I can fight up and fight Megaton. He's in feather.
Oh, good luck with that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, that would be an experience.
Would you do
though.
it? Yeah. Would you do it just for the hell?
You know,
The story.
I want to at some point. I'm doing the war of attrition. I want to meet him in like Masters 7.
Okay.
Like when we both get, rolled into the arena and then they just they dump us over into the mat and they put a Geritol up our ass and they say, "Go, boy." That's what I want.
hilarious.
And I'm just going to be like, I'm going to have less injuries than him and I'm going to win and that's it. That's going to be that's when I'm going to drop the mic.
Oh man, yeah, he's a beast. I heard he's tough.
I know.
To roll with. Tough everywhere.
Yeah.
Man, he's incredible. Yeah, do it. Just do it.
Sooner or
gotta
later.
do it.
It's going to happen
Do
sooner or
it.
later. We're on a collision course.
You are.
We're like the same age, same weight. Has to happen.
Has to happen.
But like I said, I'm gonna I'm going to do that end game.
Right. What if he retires, man? You won't get your chance.
I'll call him out, man.
I see it.
I'll get on this podcast and any other podcast that will have me.
Megaton, I'm calling you out. Yeah. So are you going to go then, and just for the hopes of getting a match, or you
do the absolute?
Are you going to do the absolute?
No.
So if,
I don't
if nobody signs up, you're not jumping.
I
on
don't
the plane.
think so. 'Cause I didn't train as much this time around as I usually do, and that's number one. Number two, that's the main reason.
Yeah.
I like Worlds. I do Old Man Worlds every year.
Okay.
So that I do, and there'll always be someone in my division there usually.
Right.
But I always medal because there's never more than 3.
Really?
That's good.
Yeah.
But I love that tournament. That's a fun one. The
We
one
did that one this
we did
past
that.
year.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was there.
Yeah. Man, a lot of people were there. We didn't see anyone. There was 4,500 competitors and how many thousands of spectators, you know?
Yeah.
It's a huge, God, it was so big. 20-something match?
Yeah.
Mats?
21 mats.
21 mats. Yeah.
I wish they had
awesome.
it at a better venue, though. I still don't like. I love the pyramid. Like I wanted to have
We've
it.
never been to the
Oh my
pyramid.
god! So I mean, and I like even when we have it in Chicago. What is it? Chicago
State.
State.
Yeah.
That is a nice venue. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
agree?
It's a nice venue. I
It
agree.
is,
The
but you
neighborhood's
can only
not the
get
greatest.
No.
You can only get
The
8
venue
mats.
is awesome, yes.
You can only get 8 mats down though.
Oh, is
I
that-
mean, yeah, like you need the Las Vegas Convention Center to host Master Worlds with 4,500
But it's just you can't see.
You can't see.
You know,
Yeah, there should
like
be-
when they had that. What was the intermission fight that they had this year? What was that called again? The pro thingamajig.
Yeah, with all the 16-man pro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard to see it.
Yeah.
I was watching it on my phone
It's
instead.
great. We were all the way up, and I was standing up. Everyone was standing on the bleachers.
Exactly.
So what was the point of that? Like, why don't we all just sit down? We can't see. Why are we all standing? If
You
everyone
get that
sat
one
down,
person that stands,
exactly.
it's a domino
It's a
effect.
domino
Exactly.
effect.
One dickhead stood up.
One asshole stood up. Everybody got to
now the
stand.
whole-
Now I got to stand up and watch these guys fight for the next 40 fucking minutes. Come
Right.
on, guys. I know.
Exactly.
Can we all just sit? It's the same view.
It's rude to people who are in wheelchairs, for real. I mean, like, they don't have the option to stand up.
Exactly, Paul. It's very true. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Let's bring posters next year.
That's right.
Did you guys stay afterwards, or did you boogie after the?
We were there. How long were we there for? Like 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there for a while. It's a good time.
That's
Was
a-
we watched the McGregor fight?
You didn't watch it live though. Did you watch it live?
No. Well, we did watch it live,
But I mean,
there.
not at the.
No.
Yeah.
It was a blackout in Vegas, so you couldn't watch it anywhere. So we watched it in the hotel room, hooked up the iPad to the TV.
That's how we did it somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't ask me how they did it, but they did it.
Yeah.
But we had some good time. We went gambling one night. We stood how long? Hours at the blackjack table. We played
love
blackjack
Vegas.
for hours.
I love it there.
And we were just with like the same like $300 or $400,
Yeah.
right?
I was drinking the whole time, and Zito doesn't drink a drop, and he was by far more obnoxious than me. Would you not agree with that? You were obnoxious at the blackjack table.
I like
Vegas
to
does
fuck
that.
with people because it's fun.
That's what Vegas does
'Cause
to you. It
people
brings out
take-
the asshole in you.
They take things so seriously. They take everything so seriously.
Totally.
I'm just like, are you serious, dude? Like, were we playing like $20 or $25 a hand? Was it something like that?
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
didn't give a fuck. I'm like, I don't care. And we kept winning. We're like, this is awesome. Hours. They fucking kept throwing different dealers at us, trying to get our luck to change, and it didn't matter. We never like. I think I was up maybe $600-700 at the most,
Right,
if that.
right.
And we were just having a good time, fucking yelling and just.
You were yelling.
Yeah, I was.
I love it when you get at a table and you kind of slightly break protocol. Like,
Right.
you're not supposed to hit on this, you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And then the guy next to you says, that was supposed to be my card.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Fuck you, man. That's my card. It's not your card.
Exactly. Should have came over here a half hour ago and sat where I was sitting.
Right.
Exactly. That
Well,
would be your
the
card.
book says,
Exactly.
the book says, show me the book. Let me see this book you keep talking about.
Yeah, we had a good time. It was fun. But people take it so seriously. Oh my God. It's
Are you
like,
going to go
dude.
this year?
Yeah, I think we'll do it again this
Masters
year.
Worlds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good time.
Registration's open already, is what
Is
I'm
it really?
told. Yeah.
Damn. Gangster. IBJJF. Give him that coin right away.
I'd like to do an open. See, I don't think I get. I think I'm working a show for the Chicago Open.
Okay.
So it kind of sucks. I can't even go to like my own town's Open
Yeah.
this time. But like, I would like to hit an Open somewhere. Like
I like to do New York Open.
the Seattle Open, or
Why
like
Seattle?
I
Why
don't know.
Seattle,
Just
bro?
something that just came to mind.
Okay.
'Cause, sorry, Zito.
I'm just-
and then I hate Seattle. So
No,
much,
it's
but
not that I hate Seattle. I'm just saying we've been to Seattle.
I haven't been to Seattle.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I've been to Portland.
but I mean,
Same thing.
Same thing.
what are we saying there?
All right.
But
I've been
New
to
York
New
would be
York.
cool.
I've been there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been there.
I think their pizza is just okay.
Dude, you've not been to New York?
No, I haven't
How can
been
that be?
He's
I
also
know.
never left the country, Doc.
Really?
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go again.
He's 42. What are you, 44 now?
No, 42.
Oh, 42
I'll be 43
still?
this year.
All right.
But no, not of the country.
Why? Are you afraid of like...
I don't know. Just hard to get off work, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like to leave the country, I'd have to leave, for at least 14 days, right? Minimum.
No, not
No.
necessarily.
You can't go to like Spain for like a weekend. You're not
Sure,
gonna
you
do
can.
that.
You can go for like 8 days or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
I just went to Bora Bora.
Okay. How was that?
It was awesome.
For how long?
A week.
Oh, 7 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's in Tahiti.
Yeah.
Damn.
So,
How long was that plane ride?
That was long. It was like... there was the layovers that killed us, but it was like 22 hours.
Did you train out
Holy
there?
shit.
No. But I did a scuba dive, and the guys on the boat, they did jiu-jitsu, and they asked me, and I told them I did jiu-jitsu, and then I told them I was a black belt, and they thought I was like Luke Skywalker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
'cause
What were they?
They were like, both of them were like white belts, and they were being taught by a purple belt.
Oh,
And
wow.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
They didn't even think like a black belt existed down there.
Damn.
So do you travel with a gi wherever you go, or
If I can find a place that usually if I'm going to go somewhere and I want to do a private, I call in advance, and if I can do it, then yeah, I'll bring it. But
what
if
about
not,
Tahiti? Did you bring a gi?
no, I
Just
didn't.
like,
They wanted me to
just
come
you
by,
never know.
but yeah, my girlfriend would have killed. She's going to listen to this. She would have killed me. She's going to say she wouldn't, but she would have.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honey, I met 2 dudes on the boat that do jiu-jitsu. I'll see you in a couple of days.
Enjoy the hut while I'm gone.
She's like, oh my God, I took you to the most remote place on earth and you still found someone to roll it.
Exactly.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how
no,
was scuba diving? I've never done it.
It was good. It was good. We didn't. She's not certified, so we did kind of a shallow dive where you don't have to worry about coming up too quickly and getting the bends. But it was beautiful. The water out there is unbelievable. You can see straight through to the bottom, no matter how deep you are. And it's just blue, all different colors of blue. It was a wonderful trip.
So you're certified?
Yes, I'm certifiable. Yeah, I'm certified. I am. I wouldn't do a crazy dive like cave dive, but I went inside a wreck. I like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I would never do like a night dive because you can hardly see as it is. I don't want to do it at nighttime. Yeah.
Good at
Why,
night?
they do night dives?
They do night dives.
Come on, what's the point?
I know. Well, they say that certain
Sharks come out to eat you at night?
Yeah, like what are you?
a different kind of shark will
Right,
eat you.
looking for? Because you have a flashlight, I'm assuming, so you can only see X amount of feet.
But
in
they
front
say
of you.
certain creatures, what's the proper word for a crustacean and stuff like that, come out at night that don't come out during the day, so you get to see things you wouldn't see. But I agree with you. I would never do it. I wouldn't never do it.
It seems like unnecessary risk.
Yeah, right.
I'll Google that shit.
But you're going to miss the crustacean. I'm good, bro. I'm actually eating a crustacean right now. You want a lobster tail?
I'm eating a crustacean in the dark right now.
Oh yeah, no. I'm fearful of the ocean. Like
Me too.
I'm just like I can go into knee, maybe waist. It's pushing it.
That's pushing it.
I just like what I respect it so much
Yeah.
that it's like
I get it.
I can swim well. If you threw me in a lake, I could swim around. The ocean is a different one. That I feel like once it takes you out, I don't care how good of a swimmer you are, you're going. You're not gonna like fight this water.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
No, I agree with you.
And-
I mean, you
and-
got to respect it.
Yeah. And you're on the menu too. It's like,
You are.
right away. It's like there's shit in this thing that's eating you and biting you and stinging you and fuck that, man.
Yeah,
Really.
And it's not even like I don't like. I remember as a kid, my parents would take us to Florida, and we used to go in the ocean before I really understood what it really was.
Yeah.
And it's just like the salt water was like, oh, like what am I? Why do I want to be in this water? It doesn't.
No, and you don't stand a
it's
chance
disgusting
either.
in
Like
there.
if I'm on dry land and like a cheetah is running after me, I can climb up a tree or something. But you're in the water. You're
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, cheetahs are
Nothing.
damn good climbers. You know?
Maybe cheetah was a bad example.
Right. But yeah, like,
Raccoon. If a raccoon was coming at you, you could probably get away.
Very angry raccoon.
you know, you could. But I agree with the analogy. I mean, if you're on land, at least you could.
Got
There's
somewhat of a
some
chance.
of you could find a rock and bash
Right.
it in the head, maybe.
Right,
You know, like
right.
that's a 1%.
But in the water, you got nothing.
No, you're nothing.
I mean, they say you could punch a shark in the nose. Who the
Shut
fuck
up.
would you punch it in the water?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, who's doing that?
My punch in real life doesn't really pack much of
Right.
an impact.
And
Underwater, you're going to have
Underwater?
to subtract
Yeah.
another 50%.
Right. Yeah. Against a shark that uses its nose to ram shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. See, all those surfers and stuff, it's like, I'm good, man. You know, could you imagine, like, losing a leg and, like, you can't surf again? Your jiu-jitsu game, you're going to have to change that up quite a bit.
Definitely have to change.
Lasso
You know.
game is out.
Out,
Yeah.
totally out.
Totally
you know?
out.
Like, I don't know if I would go snowboarding if, like, every time we were, like, heading down the slopes, there's like, oh, you could get attacked by a pack of wolves or,
Yeah,
or a
right.
mountain lion.
Right.
I'd be like, I'm good on snowboarding too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You guys can have that.
Yeah. No risk of getting eaten
Yeah.
while we're snowboarding.
Right.
Which is good. That's why. I mean, I enjoy it.
That's why I do it.
why I do it.
Reason number one, I do it. I'm not going to get eaten. And reason number two is it's
fast.
really fun.
It's really
Yeah.
fun, right? It's beautiful too. Man, we just got back from Utah. Man, I mean, there wasn't a lot of snow like it was last year for us, but it was still beautiful. I mean, the scenes are just so nice. And I didn't take one photograph. Not one.
That means you were
I
having a
took-
good time. That means you're
exactly.
having a
But
good
I did
time.
take one of Paul. He asked me to take a photo of him with some birch trees, which I did do for him.
Yeah.
But I didn't take. You know what? And we got off. We got off the lift, and right away people are just on their phones. I'm like, you know what? I just want to board, man. I don't want to stop and take fucking.
Do you
photos.
guys ski as well?
No, just snowboard. And yeah, it was great. It was just.
When did you start snowboarding?
About 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
And you can do it?
Yeah. I'm not at Paul's level, but I'm getting there, But yeah, I mean, I can keep up with him, not as well as he does it, but I can keep up with him. And you've been snowboarding how long, Paul?
Since I was 15, so like 17 years
A
probably.
long time. So
I can't ski. I can't snowboard.
it's
I can go down
Great.
on a sled.
yeah. I mean, it's just like anything, once you I really liked it initially. I used to skateboard when I was younger, and I longboard, and I'm
Okay.
like, okay, so is it similar to longboard and skateboard? It's not really. It's not even similar at all.
Right.
You don't think the balance carries over?
Possibly, but it's a different type of mindset because you have to be on edges, and that's something you have to kind of understand.
Get your brain to understand.
Right, because you can't just go flat. Once you go flat, you allow the earth to put you wherever it wants to put you, and sometimes it slams you forward, or sometimes it slams you backward.
I see.
It's just you got so you got to understand. Just like in anything, you got to use some core, and you got to stabilize yourself. You can't be lazy, like when you do a jiu-jitsu technique, right?
Yeah.
So if you're doing a jiu-jitsu technique and you're being lazy with your jiu-jitsu, meaning that you're not engaging your core, you're not engaging your muscles, you're not engaging your legs, and you're just trying to do this technique,
Yes.
it's never going to work. You could try it 100 times. You're like, well, this can't. Well, you're not engaging. When we put someone in guard, we were doing a sweep the other night where it's like a waiter sweep almost.
Yeah.
So you have to engage your core. You got to go under the leg and you got to
Lift yourself up.
Lift yourself up. If you're not doing that, if you're trying to get your ass to the mat, you're never going to sweep me. Same with snowboarding. So you have to engage the board with your legs, heel, toe, whatever side you're going on, and you have to be engaged. And once you get loose, that's when accidents happen or
Yeah.
bad things happen.
Did you guys watch the Olympics?
No, didn't watch any. I don't have cable anymore. I just have high speed internet. And
Sean-
just
Sean-
watch Netflix.
Sean White.
Sean White.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
he's
know.
the
That
man.
closing run was
Yeah.
off the
Incredible.
charts. And I don't even know anything about.
Right.
I wasn't even pronouncing it right. I was pronouncing it half pike.
Really?
Yes, because I'm a moron.
Yeah.
Yeah, half pipe. Yeah. And those pipes, those are huge. They're like 20-something
I
foot
know.
walls. It's incredible.
Yep.
Man, it's scary.
And I saw one guy take a fall. That looked like it hurt.
Yeah, that's no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do anything like that. Paul, you're not into that either.
What's that?
The half pipe stuff.
I don't do jumps, any of that. Yeah.
Paul looks for powder. That's what he wants. He wants soft powder and tree runs.
Yeah.
Give him that all day long.
Yeah.
And that's what you get in Utah.
We usually do, but this year it was no powder.
Chunky.
It was just not a lot of snow. I mean, it did snow one day we were there, but it only snowed like maybe an inch or two. It wasn't anything like significant.
Yeah.
But it was like 40 something degrees. We got stuck out there because of a snowstorm out here. Coincidentally.
Yeah.
And then we were like walking around, Salt Lake City, without jackets, like 50 something degrees.
Yeah.
It was beautiful outside.
Zito's like, I think I'll get a tattoo while I'm out here.
I know.
Like that's how bored we were.
We were like, let's think of something to do. But we shot some pool. We got a geese sponsor while we were out there.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Who's your geese sponsor? You can't tell me?
No, we can't.
You'd have to kill me if you could tell me.
Very
you'd have
hard to
kill me?
submit.
Yeah, very hard to submit. They're out in New York. Coincidentally, they're out in New York, so I'll have to go out there and see them.
Yeah.
But he's our
We brokered a deal.
Yeah, he's our new sponsor for the podcast.
Nice.
I'm excited because I love everything about his stuff is just top notch. It's branding. His Instagram feed is fucking awesome. And it's not like your typical like Instagram feed. He like reposts a lot of people's stuff. He's very artistic. And I just like that. I just love
and
his
his game is
rash guards or just geese?
geese, rash guards, clothing. He does it all. Yeah. And his packaging. I mean, the details. When I tell you, like, I own a lot of geese, and I own a lot of very hard to submit geese as well because it says a lot about someone when they put a lot more effort into the whole package.
Yeah.
the presentation.
The presentation. Yeah. When I received a rash guard from him, he sends in a box, not just like a paper bag. It's in a box.
Yeah.
His box has his logo on it. When you open the box, the package that your rash guard has his logo. I mean, it's like he doesn't have to do that stuff,
Right.
But he goes the extra mile to make it a presentation.
Yeah, the present like Apple.
Like
Apple has it down to a science. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly like that.
Exactly.
And I appreciate that type of
If it's a gi and we're gonna sweat in it, and people are gonna be ripping and tearing at it, but I'm dropping $200 on this thing.
Yeah.
Put it in a nice box for me and make it,
Right.
a lot of to get it. Some people only get gis like once every 3 years. It's a big deal to make a purchase like that.
I agree.
That's make it
a big deal.
Make it a big deal for
exactly.
them.
Yeah, he does a really good guy, real nice guy. And yeah, we're super excited to have him on board.
Congratulations.
To be partners with him on this. Cool. It's really cool. Yeah, so that Salt Lake City, it worked out for us because we were like brainstorming while we're shooting some pool, and Paul's like, let's just let's do some while we're out here. We're stuck out here, and I couldn't get the tattoo, so we did that, and we ate at some really dope ass place called Current. Man, was that food good, Paul?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was
What kind of seafood?
It's called Current. It was really the whole place was. It was.
You
it was
were
really
recommended to go there, or you stumbled upon it?
Well, I Googled it. I Googled like best seafood in Salt Lake City. We were looking for some sushi joints initially, and I'm like, Paul, it's always a toss up with sushi. Like, might be good, might not be good.
Yeah.
But this place was like highly rated, and it was awesome. We had oysters. Man, we ordered like half the fucking menu. That bread was like, everything was really good.
What do you do, Doc? Like food wise, are you?
I'm pretty healthy, but I let loose sometimes. I love ice cream, man. That is my Achilles heel.
Really?
Yeah.
What type?
What are we talking?
You
here?
name it. I really don't have a bias.
Really?
No, I like Haagen-Dazs. I like Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
Do you ever try Jenny's? They just came to. She opened up a place in Chicago. It's like $10 a pint.
What? Really?
But it's super creamy and it's decadent.
It's called Jenny's.
Jenny's with an I, so J-E. I'm really giving a lot of people. I should get sponsorship.
You should.
I'm plugging everyone tonight.
That's right. Wearing a weird hoodie. Just roll.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Dude, who's that?
Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Nick.
It's pretty obnoxious lettering right there. We see it. Okay, just roll.
You're giving me a headache.
I'm not blind, Nick. Sorry, Doc.
So Jenny is Jenie.
Jeni apostrophe S.
Oh, Jeni apostrophe S. Okay,
Yes.
Jenny's. Okay.
You guys need to get off the ice cream. Start making yourself some acai bowls at nighttime.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Because it definitely makes up for it.
It's a lot of work, though. A lot of work goes
The way
into
he does
that.
it. I mean, when I do it, that's not a lot of work.
You go buy it somewhere.
No.
No.
He cuts open the package and sucks on it like a popsicle.
Yeah, but that,
I love when Paul says that. It's so
Well,
funny.
that's what it is. Just because you break it up and put it into a bowl, it's still the same thing.
it doesn't have a lot of
Oh,
taste
it's so
like that.
funny.
though.
Zito's does look like he's chewing on ice cubes. Doc, you're 100% right. It doesn't have a lot of taste. The
it's
taste
so
of the acai comes out when you blend it with other fruits.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay.
Honestly,
The
what are
acai
you
bowl-
doing? You're like sucking
know,
on
man.
mud. That's what.
What's the place that sells it at Worlds, at Old Man Worlds?
Oh my God!
There's-
Whatever place, it's amazing.
Don't you
The
agree?
best. The
Mine-
best.
mine
I
is-
try and
mine is
duplicate
just
it at
as
home.
good.
I can't do it.
No.
Mine is just as good.
Hey, those are
Yes,
fighting
it is.
words, man.
I'm
Paul,
telling you.
you got to bring it here.
Okay.
Can you make it before the podcast and bring it? Is that- will it stay good?
No. I'll bring the stuff and I'll make a batch.
So
here.
what do you? What? Give us the basic recipe. Don't you don't have to give away the secret
There we go.
recipe, but the basics.
Frozen grapes, okay. Some frozen blueberries. Bust up the acai blocks.
Yes.
Get the acai in there. Half a banana, and just for a little bit of liquid, I give it a splash of coconut milk.
Gotcha.
Right? And then you put it. I have a Vitamix where it comes with a plunger, and you sit there and you plunge the hell out of it. Takes about 2 minutes because I mean. Everything's frozen.
Yes.
It's basically you just put ice in there, but it comes out. The consistency is so good. Now, what you want is you want to be able to turn the container upside down and nothing falls out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how thick it is. You need to scrape it out.
Right.
But there's no chunks. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
feel that consistency that I'm talking about? Okay. Then you do the granola, the almond butter,
That's the key.
the coconut flakes, cacao nibs, and I recently just started putting some cranberries in there, some dried
Nice.
cranberries.
Oh, dried cranberries.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful.
It is.
My mouth's
it's
watering.
Decadent, and I do it like 4 nights a week.
That's fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
So
That's great.
will you make some and then store it in the freezer, or it's just you make it and you eat it and that's it?
Fresh
yeah.
to death, Doc.
Yeah.
So what the whole process, how long does it take? Like start to finish? Like getting everything out and everything like that? 20, 25 minutes?
God, no.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
I have two, and my girlfriend, by the way, is like, hey, a girl can really get used to this. You know what I mean? She
okay.
loves it.
Nice.
Because it's a fairly healthy treat, you know, and people have a sweet tooth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I say less than 7 minutes.
Really?
Wow.
And that includes washing out the Vitamix and drying it and putting it back in the cabinet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. 7 minutes.
I go to work on that thing.
That's
dude. Hell
fucking.
yeah.
All right. You got to show it to me, man. You got to show me. Bring it all here. Let's
Are you
do
going to videotape it?
Fuck
Okay.
yeah, I will.
Still
We'll
not
do
as fast as taking a Ben and Jerry's out of the freezer and dropping a spoon in it.
100%.
Probably not.
100%
But
true.
nonetheless, that is good timing.
Yeah.
Mine was like, and it probably didn't even come out as good as yours, but I was like working on it for like a half an hour.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't work on mine that long at all, but that 7 minutes, I think I can do that.
I can't get see, when I put all the frozen stuff in it, I can't get it. And then I put it in a blender, and then it's almost like a shake.
Yeah, what kind of blender
Too
are we
liquidy,
talking?
right?
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
liquid. Yeah.
kind of
Like a
blender we
KitchenAid
talking here?
sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then
It's not gonna
I
do
put
it.
it in the freezer a little bit until it gets to that consistency of no chunks.
Yeah. See, that's a whole
puree.
process
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That discourages you from making. Yeah,
That's
I
exactly
would be
it.
grabbing the Ben and Jerry's too if I went through all
We
that.
gotta do this Instagram post, man. We gotta do you making it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or a Facebook post, whatever.
And I want a timer in the corner.
A timer in the corner.
We'll put the
But
shot clock up. Yeah.
We're gonna have to have Bruno like fast forward the video though.
Yeah, sure. We can.
You
do
know
that.
what I mean? It's gotta be
Instagram,
less
is
than a minute.
Well, Instagram's a minute, but on Facebook we do the full 7 minutes.
Right.
Of you narrating it.
Okay. All right. I'm excited.
Yeah. Bring it all. Man.
Yeah, it can be done.
I-
Zito's
7 minutes.
Zito's like, no way. You don't.
That's
Like, yeah,
that's
dude.
amazing.
Yeah.
So do you get everything from like Whole Foods, or you get it from any?
Mariano's carries everything you need.
Okay.
Whole Foods also carries everything you need. Jewel even carries acai and everything you need.
More plugs today. We're just
Yeah, Jewel.
we gotta cash in on this
Right.
somehow.
So, Doc, what was the most interesting? Let's get back to you for a second. Like we were talking about, like, what's the most interesting thing in the UFC that like you saw, or just like because you see a lot of the behind the scenes, and it's like, what would the common person be surprised about?
I don't know that there wasn't anything really eye-opening. It's just really great being backstage and talking with the people and pretty much the people that are not fighting that night, because they're going to let their hair down. And so I met George St. Pierre and I met Michael Bisping, and you're waiting for the fight, and you can talk with them, and it's just surreal to do that.
Yeah. Funny
Story is, and I had a feeling this was going to come up, and I'm bringing it up on my own. We were. You do the pre-fight physicals, and then they do their weigh-in, which is the thing that you see. And we did it at what's the famous theater? Chicago Theater. That's where I think it might have been the Anderson Silva one. I can't remember if it was Rashad Evans or maybe it was both of them. So anyway, we were there, and we did physicals on everyone. They did their weigh-in, and people came in and watched, and they were leaving. And then of course, all the ring girls are there too. And so we're wrapping up. And when you have these fights, there's 4 local doctors that cover it, because you have 2 doctors ringside at all times for both corners, and then you have 1 doctor that's going back and forth, because at the end of the fight, you got to check the fighters when they leave the ring. So that person's kind of like a runner going back and forth. And then there's one guy that stays in the locker room the whole night and is doing the suturing if someone needs suturing. So it's usually a plastic surgeon or something that's from one of the hospitals around here. So there's 4 doctors there, and then their doctor that travels, who I hate. I said that already, didn't I?
I said it outside the podcast.
And so anyway, we're wrapping up. The 4 of us are wrapping up, because we all did the pre-fight physicals, and it's done, and we're getting ready for the next day and putting up. So one of the ring girls comes back, and she's got the robe on, and I got a sore throat. Not me, and I swear not me, but they all 3 of them ran up to her like puppy dogs, like with their flashlights, wanting to get next to her. Yeah.
Which ring girl?
It was one of the ones that's still on it. Not Ariana. The
Brittany Palmer,
maybe blondish type hair.
That's the one.
Yeah. So that was probably the most embarrassing story. But other than that, nothing really big. Just like I said, meeting Dana White was nice, and meeting.
What's Dana like?
Really appreciative.
Seems like the same on camera that he would be in person.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Cause I was with Herb Dean, because you have to do physicals on the refs too. For some reason, you got to take their blood pressure and stuff before the fight.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. Perfunctory. Make sure they're alive.
I would never
weird.
think that.
Do they get drug tested too?
No. You just take their blood pressure, and you have your stethoscope. You take a listen. They want you to do it. I remember the first time I ever covered the fight. They were like, "Doc, you got to do physicals on the ref." And I think I started laughing, and I'm like, "What? Were you joking?" I thought it was initiation or something.
Yeah,
and they
right.
were like, "Doc,
that's what I would think too."
No. You got to do physical on the refs the night of the fight.
Wow.
I don't know if they still do it. Ask the Sim brothers. They ref local MMA fights, so we can. They won't. We can ask them if they still do it. So anyway, I was doing the physical, and Dana walked by, and I must have had like this starstruck look on my face. And he stopped. He literally stopped, came in the room where I was, and he goes, "You one of the doctors?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." And he said, "Very appreciative of what you do." Shook my hand, and he goes, "Did you ever see the?" Because they have that big show when you go from the preliminary fights to the main 5 fights, and they play that
the music,
the Who music, and they have the montage on.
It's the best.
And he goes, "Have you ever seen the montage?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
It is amazing."
And it was amazing. But it was just nice. He came in and said, he just saw me look at him, and he stopped in his tracks. He had a big entourage, and he came in and said hello. I thought that was nice.
Yeah, for
Made
sure.
an impression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Good to know.
Yeah. Next time I see him,
I like him because he speaks. He says what's on his mind.
Hey Dana, what's up? Doc Joe says you're all right.
You're all right.
You're all right.
You're all right now.
Yeah.
No, but I like him because he talks right. He is not afraid to say whatever he wants to say, and I respect that.
Yeah, it's true. He does like that.
It's true.
But he gets so much slack from so many fighters, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes he gives a lot of fake news, I believe. Like he throws out some bullshit out there just for the hell of it.
He's a businessman.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't come out and say that he's stripping Conor. Like
But,
he won't
I
come
mean,
out and say
we had-
that.
we
He
had-
says that they're fighting for the real belt, but he won't say that they're stripping Conor.
Yeah.
Well, we had Seth Daniels on the podcast. He the
Fight to
promoter
Win.
for Fight to Win, and he was explaining to us like how insanely difficult it is to deal with MMA fighters. He's
sure.
like, I just want to do jiu-jitsu from here on out, jiu-jitsu promotions. He's like, MMA fighters are way too difficult to deal with.
Too much of a prima donna?
Yeah,
Or?
a little bit of
Well,
that.
do they do like stuff for like bands? Like, you know how bands have that, what's it called, that sheet? Or
So I think they all have like a background in like being like concert roadies, kind of like they would set up like truss and lighting and speakers and stuff like that. So just to take the jiu-jitsu stage on the road was like perfect for them.
Yeah.
You know?
No, what I'm saying is MMA fighters, when they come into town, do they have like a wish list of things they need, or no?
Oh, it's called a writer.
a writer. Do they have that?
I'm sure some of them do.
Really?
I'm-
In their
I'm
contract, right? They're like, oh, we need to have this stuff at every like, fight that I have.
It's possible.
Because they all have dressing rooms, right?
Yeah, but everyone. Yeah, exactly. But
no, they
everyone-
don't?
No.
So at the UFC, if you're like one of those top 4 fights,
Yeah.
they're going to have kind of their own dressing room, and the mats on the ground to warm up, but the other people are sharing dressing rooms.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, or they're like in some weird like tented off area,
Yeah.
and like a couple of McGregor's earlier fights. It's like, oh, they give Conor a utility closet. Like that's when he didn't make it yet. You know?
Right. You think he's coming back?
I just saw a post today from him saying, "I am going to fight again. Period. I am the best at this."
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would love to see him fight with, what's his name, the Russian dude. The,
Yeah.
Khabib.
Yeah.
That one scares me. That one scares me.
He is a beast.
Yeah.
I think I'm nothing taken away from Tony, but I think he's going to win it. I think he's going to beat Tony.
Oh my God, I think he's going
Who's
to win
that?
it.
Khabib.
Oh yeah.
Tony.
Yeah, I think so.
That's April, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that fight's booked, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I would love to see him fight Conor McGregor.
I know.
That might be one that I would actually go to.
I mean, who's in that division that's going to give him any trouble anyway? Like, after he beats Tony, who's the next guy anyway?
Yeah.
Nobody. He's beaten everybody.
Who's that?
Khabib.
Yeah, for sure.
He's beaten everybody in that division.
And then if Conor beats Khabib, it's like not like we'll never see McGregor again.
Never.
What's he going to come back for?
170?
Maybe 170.
I don't know. But Khabib can't go up to 170? Because isn't Khabib friends with Woodley? Don't they train together?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Or was that, what's his name? Who's that wrestler guy?
Oh, Ben Askren.
Ben Askren's
That's-
friends
yeah.
with Woodley. Because I was hoping that Ben Askren gets in the UFC and then fights Woodley, but they're training partners,
Yeah.
so that's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So either Ben would have to fight George St. Pierre, or Woodley would have to fight George St. Pierre.
True.
But I just wish Ben Askren could get in the UFC. It's so sad. Did you listen to that podcast with
Yeah,
him?
I did. I listened to some of it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, But Ben Askren versus Khabib, like get those guys
Right.
together. Like,
That's-
I would love to
That
see
would be
that.
interesting.
Interested in
You know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That's huge because they're both probably around the same weight, like walking around. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So Khabib can easily go to 170.
What does Ben still fight? I know he fought in Bellator for a while.
Yeah, and then he fought World Series. He was in World, and then they just canceled his contract because
Yeah.
he was going to go to the UFC. And he explained it all on Joe Rogan's podcast. But there was some contract negotiations going on, and then they just didn't renew his contract. And he was the champ at the time
Yeah.
because of the UFC was told him they wanted him, and then they told him no, we don't want you anymore, which is bizarre.
Very political.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of politics.
Yeah.
But Ben Askren versus Khabib all day. I would pay a lot to see that.
Yeah.
That would be a big, huge fight in
Khabib's
Russia.
a monster, though, man. He scares me.
so good.
He's like talking to Dana while he's fighting. Who does that?
Beating the guy up.
Exactly.
Like, just quit. Just quit, man.
Like beating a good guy up.
No, yeah, he's no joke.
Like tormenting.
Could you imagine someone totally dominating you in jiu-jitsu like that, and you're like in their triangle or something? They're like, just give up. Why are you wasting my time?
Right.
That would be so humiliating.
That'd be like
I pretty much go
somebody-
through that every night. But
I do too.
nonetheless,
I know. I was thinking that too. I'm like, I think
nobody
that
actually says that to me.
That was
though.
my role the other night.
That'd be like somebody mounted you and they're sinking in a nasty cross collar choke while they're yelling at your coach.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? You suck. Your guy sucks. I'm about to choke him.
Or they're like ordering food while they're choking you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's that
Give me a
bad.
bucket of tiramisu.
Exactly.
Have it ready.
Yeah, he's that good.
Yeah,
He's that good.
So, Doc, before we let you out of here, how about like some general tips for all the BJJ guys listening to this, like how to not get injured, things to do to prevent it, you know, when to get something checked out versus like, just kind of train through that? Or...
Yeah, so remember we were talking about spine injuries are common, so I think any pain that's going down your arm or your leg, you got to get that checked out. Knee injuries are common. If that's associated with swelling, with knee is swelling up, that's something that needs to be looked at as opposed to just, you know, run-of-the-mill knee pain. I think you do the rest ice compression sort of thing.
Okay.
I would say those are the red flags that you want to watch out for aside from the obvious stuff. But I will continue to say it, and no one listens to me, but an ounce of prevention goes a long way. And if you want to do jiu-jitsu until you're 53 years old, guilty. You've got to do it. So you know, an ounce of prevention goes a long way, and if you want to do it for the long haul, you got to do that. So core strengthening, scapular stabilization are the easiest things to do, easiest things to incorporate into any strength and conditioning program. You know, and like you were saying before, you don't need fancy weights and to be able to do that.
Yeah,
I always tell my clients, let's be proactive instead of reactive. Let's change that server out now. Before it breaks.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, that's one of the things.
You can't not get an injury in jiu-jitsu. You're going to get an overuse injury. You know, one of the tendinopathies. You're going to get a spine injury, or it's coming sooner or later. And so, why not try and prevent it?
Awesome. Where can people find you?
Oh, I'm at North Shore Health System. So I see patients at Evanston and Glenbrook Hospital. Most of the patients I see in terms of jiu-jitsu is at New Breed itself and Jeff's place. But I love doing it. I love when the guys come to me and
what's the most common thing like guys will come up to you with?
It's that stuff. It's the spine stuff. It's knee stuff. I saw this kid, Aaron. I told him I was going to talk about him on podcast today because he had bursitis. We have these water pads strategically in our body that serve as mini cushions. Okay. So you have a bursa in your knee, you have it in your shoulder, you have it in your hip. And if you're constantly going on your knees like we do when you're on the mat, it can get irritated and it becomes a bursitis, becomes inflamed. And when it becomes inflamed, it can fill up with fluid a little bit. Aaron, I took off, I'm going to try and put this in a way that you can understand it. I took off 200 cc's of fluid off his knee.
Wow.
We had to go back 3 times.
Jeez.
Right there in the gym?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So you just you have syringes on you? Like
no, I brought it with me.
Oh, did you?
And then we were in your office. I'm sorry. But we cleaned up. So, yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
That is crazy.
And then what's it like? Can roll right away, or is it?
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of scar down a little bit so it doesn't refill up again. It's almost like when you get
cauliflower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
wait for it to harden.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so same thing with that. But he should really wear, knee pads moving forward for quite some time, and or it'll come back. For sure, that will come back again.
You got any cauliflower, Doc?
Very little.
A little bit. Okay. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, you got a nice amount. I don't have any.
Yeah, some people get it. Some people.
What's the deal with that?
I don't know. You look at the Mendez brothers; their ears are beautiful.
Yeah,
they're luscious.
Yeah, there's guys that just don't get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got some badass ears, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Speaking of Mark.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, your ears are pussies. Yeah, but I don't know what the deal is.
I think some people's cartilage is just more prone than others. Yeah. And it's just prone to recurrence, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That's the way it is, Paul.
It is what it is. It's a badge of courage.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to a little bit, you know what I mean? Bust my ass on the mats almost every day. I'd like a little something to show for it.
When I'm in the cold, mine gets red. It's like Rudolph's nose.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I don't think mine gets red. I don't know. It's hard as a rock, though.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's a weapon now.
It's a weapon now, for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
Are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram.
People can follow you or no?
No, I don't really put it. I look at stuff. I don't know. I'm an old man. I don't know these things.
Okay. No
I have Facebook. I have all that stuff.
I recently,
How long did it take me to answer your message? You can be honest.
Today?
No, that first one you sent me. You were like, "Hello."
Oh, yeah. The next day. Yeah.
Hey, come on.
Yeah.
I don't want Patty to be mad at me. I'm trying to reach out to you.
See, Zito thinks like, oh, yeah, Paul just books the guests. Dude,
It's work, huh?
hell yeah, it's work. I got to know your schedule.
Yeah.
I got to know my schedule.
Right.
And then I got to work it out with the guest.
Sure.
But this was easy. I was easy.
You were easy. You were very easy. Yeah. I'm like, can you do Friday? You're like, I'll be there. Boom.
It's beautiful.
It's very nice when I think we exchanged 3 text messages back and forth. That's it. Sometimes it's like a page, a whole
like a pen pal.
Yeah, like I have a new pen pal. 50 messages later, you're in the studio. Like, Jesus.
Well, we appreciate you coming in.
I love being
awesome.
here. I wanted to come. I was excited to come. Thanks for having me.
And we're gonna do a little technique.
Yes.
You brought your
yes. And you guys know, get any injuries, free medical care.
Really?
Yeah.
Just for us.
Yeah. No. Tell your friends.
For anyone
I
listening?
like helping out the jiu-jitsu community.
That's
I seriously
awesome.
do.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So anytime there's any problem, shoot me a message. I'll answer it faster than 24 hours this time, I promise.
Well, you're a good man. That's very cool.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. We appreciate
All right, you guys. Thank you so
We'll see ya.
much.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. For more information about Grappler Union Podcast, you could visit us at our website at grapplerunion.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Grappler Union. Please like us on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes. And all of our episodes are available on our YouTube channel. Say what?
Be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to all that shit. You got to do another take, right? This episode of the Grappler Union Podcast is brought to you by BJJTees. Go to bjjtees.com, enter the promo code Grappler Union, and save 10% off all your jiu-jitsu apparel. Go to bjjtees.com today.
This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Strychnine Jiu-Jitsu, makers of vintage-inspired tees, hoodies, and rash guards. Go to strychnine.co, that's STRYCH9.co, and use the promo code UNION at checkout to receive 20% off your online order.